with the kids this holiday season. They always want to go somewhere when we have to pay. But yes, the love camp. Thank you. I don't know why I can't think of that word camp. I don't know why I always want to say love movement. Where we worked with the love movement with that, but the love camp. Renee Miller was great. We got a lot of positive feedback from her last week. Fee actually was on there like she was being coached. So that was good, kind of digging into Fee's business and kind of seeing what was going on. Um, Tonight we have Mr. Omar, who should be coming on shortly. Um, so yeah, here he is.
I thought you were on Central. I did not know that you were East Coast. My fault.
That is
Please
okay.
forgive me, everyone. Please forgive me. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
you are good. Speak Life, Omar. I'm glad you're here because I'm sitting here talking to myself. Fee is not feeling well, so she's not talking and all that good stuff. So it's just you. You got red today. Um, but
That's
yeah,
okay.
yeah, I was just talking about the three-part series. You are the final installment of our Understanding the Mystery of Love. Um, I guess you call
Okay.
it a trilogy with three people. So talk to me. Tell us who you are. How did you get in contact with Fee? You say you're in the Central. So where are you located?
I'm in Nashville, actually.
Nashville. I always want to go to Nashville. I love it out there. Well, I want to go visit Nashville. That's on my bucket list to go.
You should come on out. It's great, great people. I actually got here because my sisters are here and they needed me to move here. So that's it.
Hmm.
It's not my final resting place.
I hear
So
that.
yeah. But yeah. But I mean, she actually contacted me. I think she heard me somewhere else speaking on relationships. But yeah, Speak Life Omar, originally from Los Angeles, raised in Europe, kind of like all over the place a little bit
Mhm.
here. And I love love. I love relationships. I love life. I love my people. So, my whole thing is to make sure that I'm able to give my people the information they need, not just on relationships, just on life principles, things that actually help people be the best that they can be.
Okay. Where did the dating with the destination? Now we've heard it.
hmm
Does that really mean when you speak that dating with a destination?
Dating with a destination means knowing your destination as a person and being able to line that up with another person. You two have that destination where you want to be. The destination could be companionship, it could be marriage, it could be lifelong partnership without, the traditional marriage. But at the end of the day, you are responsible for the destination in which you actually ultimately arrive at.
Right. I like the fact that, sometimes we can create our own relationships and it doesn't have to be traditional. What works for every other couple may not work for us. So being, very non-traditional about that. Um, yeah, so some people are okay with not being married. I am married. I'm a traditional wife, married, kind of person, but you still kind of do your own thing. So yeah. Have
I
you
mean, I
written
aspire to be married one day. I aspire for that to happen. We'll
Okay.
see. We'll see. I mean, but as I evolve, as I grow, it's not really how should I say? The paper is really not necessary at
Hmm.
some point, I guess. I think more, if we don't have an understanding, we get each other. I get that. And of course there are ways to make sure that they're taken care of if something was to happen to me. You put things in place. So I definitely want to be married, but if it
Hmm.
doesn't happen, I'm not going to be heartbroken about it, so to speak.
Right. So dating with a destination.
Yeah.
So what is the first stop? Are there stops on this destination journey?
Was the first stop on the destination?
Yeah.
Now let me see. I wrote that in 2020. So I think since then I have grown. The first stop is with yourself.
Hmm.
The
Okay.
first stop is with yourself. You have to be real with yourself. You have to be honest with yourself. Would you really date you? Your
Mm.
pros, your cons, your weaknesses, your strengths, the things that you don't realize irritate people about you, some things that you do. I mean, you have to really check yourself. And you have to stand on the 10 toes down. Like you have to be real with yourself with finances. Are your finances good? You got to be real with your relationship with yourself, with people around you. um Are your friendships good? Is your faith good? And we're not just talking about church. I mean, because a lot of people are not in church nowadays. Some people, they love God, they're just not in church. But then you have some people who have other faiths, and you have to be able to respect their faiths and respect yours at the same time. And I think sometimes a lot of blacks get hung up on, if they don't go to church, then it ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work because you said it ain't gonna work.
Right.
Because love covers a multitude, if that's what you truly believe. You know.
Yeah.
So with
I
that, your
would date
finances, your faith, your
myself.
family,
Yeah,
huh?
I would date myself. Would you date yourself?
You would date yourself? Of course
Yeah.
I would. Of course. I mean,
Okay.
I've worked on me. I mean, yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, and I continuously work on me. So that's the main thing. If you continuously work on you, that's the other thing when it comes to that. When you work on yourself, the crop gets a little bit slimmer
Yeah.
because
That
there are some things that you will take and some things you won't take. Some things you used to take, you're like, I can't take that no more. Some things that you used to allow, you just won't allow anymore because you're growing and evolving. And I think as you grow and evolve on this destination, to knowing self, then you begin to look at other people and say, now, how can I compliment somebody's life? You're not looking for somebody to compliment your life. You're looking to be able to be a gift, to compliment to somebody else's life. And I think a
right.
lot of people don't realize that when you connect with somebody, you're supposed to be able to compliment. So you talk about a lot of stuff in that. What is the chemistry? What is the connection? What is the compromise? What are the conflicts? What are the complexities of us dating? And will we be willing to compromise? And what is it? But the main thing is, on this level, if you comprehend you, you can comprehend somebody else.
Right.
And
And
comprehending your mate is the most important thing in the relationship. If you don't comprehend your mate, then it's not going to work.
right. I agree with that 100%. I told me being a therapist, I told someone today, so a lot of times we try to fit into somebody else's world instead of finding somebody who fits into our world. Um,
That's
so
right.
it's been a big thing, a big question. So I kind of wanted to get your input. Is compromising settling? What are your thoughts on that?
Um, it depends on what you're compromising on.
Hmm.
Now, if you're compromising across the board, yeah, that's settling. If you're compromising for some things that you can live with in that person, then it's not really settling. Settling would be deadbeats, people that don't have nothing going for themselves, but you got something going for you. Settling is dealing with somebody who's going to take advantage of you because they have narcissistic tendencies and you're an empath. That's settling because you know better. You're
Hmm.
set when you settle, you are actually settling for the things you know that you do not deserve because you deserve better. That's settling. Now,
Hmm.
compromising is, there are certain things that you may not like I do. I mean, there are things that I may not like that you do,
Hmm.
but I can get around it because it's not that big of a thing where it's going to be a deal breaker.
Mm. Mm. I like that. Do you think we take things too seriously in the world, but definitely in the dating field? We put too much energy into the small stuff.
Yeah, we major in the small stuff. We
Yeah.
major in small stuff. All these talking heads out here, these guys out here talking, and these women out here talking, and nobody knows their head from their tail, but they talking about relationships. You even got pastors trying to get on the circuit. It's one guy, I forgot his name, but he's a pastor, and matter of fact, it's a couple of them. They don't have churches, but they pastors. Don't understand that, but that's the way it is nowadays. But
Yes.
they're on the
Online.
man. I remember listening to a guy. Well, I wouldn't even listen. He came and someone sent his post to me, and he said that every woman needs a filler. And I
Mm.
said, a filler. So as I was reading it, every woman needs a man that can do all these things except for have sex. And I said, no, no, wait.
Mhm.
I don't think you really thought about what you just said. Because if a woman has a man that can do everything except for have sex, she will find somebody that will have sex at some
Right.
point
Right.
because she needs to feel that. Like she wants to feel that intimacy. And we have grown accustomed to this nowadays, not just women, but men too, where they have people that feel in certain spaces.
Hmm.
That's just my friend. but you
Mhm.
got this dude over here doing this over here. That's just my friend, but you got this girl over here doing everything that you want
Mhm.
to do behind closed doors. So I mean, every woman, every person don't need a filler. Like you need to be able to feel yourself and fill those holes of emptiness so that you are complete enough to where you can compliment somebody else.
Absolutely. What do you think about this 80-20 rule that we're gonna never get ever get 100% of what we want, but if we get that 80%, let's just be okay with that. And that 20%, depending on what that 20% is, we can deal with that. What do you say to that?
Everybody's trying to find out what they can get. That's what I think about it. Everybody's trying to find out what they can get. And since everybody's trying to find out what they can get, oh, it's 50-50. Oh, it's 80-20. No, look, you if you love your mate, both of y'all will give 100%.
Mm,
Some days you're going to give more than your mate because some days they may not have it to give, but that's where you're supposed to be the rock where they are weak. And I don't think people understand the power of giving, the power of loving, the power of complimenting your mate. I think one of the things that I've had trouble with in relationships is that I give too much
mm,
and give too much of myself. And I think a lot of women think, oh, well, it's giving of the material things. No, if I give too much of my time, my energy, and my mental, that weighs more on me than anything financial I could ever give you
yes.
because I can't get that back.
Mm-hmm.
I can get money back. I can get a car back, but one
Mm-hmm.
thing I can't get back, I can't get back my time. I can't get back that energy, and I can't get back, my mind once I lose it over you for acting a fool.
Right. So
So,
you
you're
that
gonna
perception
you're gonna
of
give. Yeah, you're
you
gonna give. I mean, you're
love.
gonna give. I'm a
Right.
hopeless. I'm a hopeful romantic. Put that way. I'm
I
hopeful.
do. I love love. I'm in love with love. I
Hmm.
love the idea of love and being in love and loving people. That's kind of who I am. So I tend to think that women need to feel wanted and men need to feel needed. What do you think about that? What are your thoughts on that?
Women want to feel wanted. This is true. They want to be feel wanted and desired. Men need to feel respected and desired. They
Okay.
need to know that they're respected by their woman. Any woman, I mean, they want to feel wanted, but women feel wanted on a regular basis. Somebody wants you. You may not want them, but somebody wants you. But
Is
by
that
the man that you're with, I can see where you want to be wanted, and you deserve to be wanted. And if he's not wanting you the way that you want him to want you, then you need to rethink your options, because
mm,
everybody should be have that look in their eyes, like you are the twinkle in their eye, you are the star that nobody can touch, and you are that person that I want to come home to at night. And don't you you're supposed your mate's supposed to want you like that and desire you like that. But at the same time, a man wants to feel respected. He wants to feel like he is, the man in your life. You know,
mm-hmm.
so
Yeah,
yeah, I get that.
I'm a Leo, so I want to feel desired. I want to feel love. I want to know that I'm the only one, and
Hmm.
that's the type of love that I want. Yeah.
Yeah, I know about you, Leos. Yeah, y'all dangerous. Have to watch out.
What?
No.
Leos are the best, the
Here
best.
we go.
Leos are the
Y'all,
best.
y'all are great. Y'all are great women. You have a very fiery, passionate way about you, but it's a
Yes,
good thing.
yes.
Until you get ticked off, and then it ain't what you want.
That is who we are. That's the last thing you want to do is piss us off. We patient. We'll let you go, but once you get to that point, once we done, we done. So we have a question.
Correct.
Omar, when do you know it's the real thing?
When do you know it's the real thing?
Yeah,
When
that's
it's
what.
effortless. When it's
Mm,
effortless, and you actually truly want to be around one another. It's not a
mm,
battle. Like you truly are desire. You both are really trying and making attempts to make each other's life better. That's when you know. Because people can say that they're trying to make your life better, but then you got to remember that some people are trying to control you and manipulate you into what they want you to be. So when
mm-hmm,
it's effortless and you are accepting of one another, you love each other, you compliment each other, and you guys are evolving and bettering each other, and it's effortless, it ain't work, like work, then
mm-hmm,
yeah, that's
mm-hmm.
when you arrive. But don't think you just arrived. That's just another stage. because you don't want to be complacent. You want to keep on rising.
I like that. Did you ever feel like, or had thoughts or heard people say that marriage is like a business, like a partnership, a business?
It is. It's a merger. It's a
Mm-hmm.
merger of two people coming together, and like any business, you will definitely there'll be things that in a merger where they say, hey, we don't need this in the company, we need to get rid of this here, this is not going to work with where we're going, because you got to remember, you got two companies that are going somewhere together, separately, but once they merge, they have to find out what works for them. That's why you have a counsel. That's why when you have a relationship, you should sit down and you should counsel one another, every week. You should check in and say, hey, is there anything that you need from me? Is there anything that I can do for you more? You want to check in with your mate, and you want to learn and earn your mate in order to have a successful relationship. So it's kind of like a merger. It is like a business. Um, you're bringing everything together. Now, the one thing that I've learned over the years and watched over the years is how people they're great in relationships, but they part ways over money when they're living together or they're married. And one of the
Mm-hmm.
things they say, well, well, we got a bank account together and I got mine and he got his. That ain't the way this works. You need one bank account, and you need to sit down and be honest about your financial dealings, because if you guys are talking about being married, this is all or nothing. And if money's going to separate you, if you feel like you need a separate bank account other than the one that you're with somebody with, then you don't need to be together. You don't. You should be able to trust your mate together. And
Okay.
it's a talk.
Hmm.
So
So,
yeah.
wow. Okay. So we've been taught that you got yours, I got mine, and then we have one together. So you that
Mhm.
requires a lot of trust in someone to put your everything in them. And both sides have been burned. So you don't look at that as a way of protecting yourself. Nobody gets married with the idea of being divorced, but we know that it happens. People change
It
things.
hap-
So as far as protecting yourself.
it happens when people do not take time to get to know you. It happens when people do not really get into who you are, and you get into who they are as a person. And that requires time, that requires questions. This ain't a rush job. This is not a sprint. This is a marathon. This is a
Mm.
day by day process. That's why you learn and earn each other. You're learning each other, but you're earning each other's trust. You're learning each other's love. You're learning each other's time. You're learning each other's respect. You're learning so many things and earning so many things that it shouldn't be. Divorce should not really be a factor. Because if you're growing apart because you're not talking. You're growing apart because you're not doing things together. You're growing apart because you're not understanding your mate on the levels in which you need. You cannot continue to push your narrative. And when I say push your narrative, when women meet some women like projects. So
Mm.
they project the thought process in which they think that man should be living in their life, not realizing that man had a whole life before he met you. And when
Mm.
that man had a whole life before he met you, if you're not understanding his life, what you're doing is projecting something on him that he did not know. So therefore, you're upset at the expectation in which you set for yourself and for him, which he didn't. He wasn't in on the conversation. So now you're upset because he don't know what you're really expecting from him. And you say you should be doing this, and you should be doing that. But I did. Wait a minute, we didn't have that conversation.
Wow.
So
So Bell's Mrs. Busy said, I go to work for me and us. I will have my own and will only be with someone that feels the same way. I don't need anyone monitoring what I do with my earnings. You either trust me or you don't.
it's not about trust. It's not about trusting with your earnings. It's about investing in one another. So let's look at it this way. If your man comes up with an idea and he says, hey, babe, I, I got this idea that we can do together, and we need to put our money together and we can do this. Are you willing to make that jump with him? And this requires you using your finances on your side as well as the pot in the middle and his side. And you're investing in this dream that he has for both of you, to where you come out on the other side. He done gave you the blueprint. He done wrote it out for you. He done walked it out for you. He done showed you every which way to Sunday how this is going to work. The question is, are you down? Because it's
Hmm.
not about, see, it's not my earnings. If it's mine, then you need to stay single because it's a we in the relationship. And the most people would, I don't want to hear that. No, you don't, you may not want to hear that. But this is you getting married for I do together. One. The two become one. The two don't become I'm gonna put one foot in and one foot out.
So that goes back to individuality, what we were taught. You know, women, we're taught to, or we teach our girls to have your own and not depend on a man for everything. That doesn't mean that we don't partner, but make sure that you're good and make sure that you're straight just in case. So we're living in a just in case. And I don't know if that's a setup or
Well,
I
you
don't
know
know if
what?
that's
Here's the
a setup.
thing. I get that. But my question is, if you really feel that way, then the money that you have on the side, are you investing it? Where there's a return on it, or is it just sitting there at your leisure and your pleasure when you want it?
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with the men. If you don't want to put all your money in one pot, if it's sitting in the bank, it's not growing. So if it's not growing, what's it doing? Just sitting there for you to spend when you get ready? Or it's a F him type of day? Oh, he'll make me mad today. F him. I'm finna go buy this on Amazon. What? Come on, man. Let's get real now. Come on now. Let's
Well,
talk.
you
I
know what?
mean,
That goes back to trust because if you is, and I'm thinking like, I'm kind of going back and forth in my mind as you're speaking. Like, what if he has this fly by night idea that just don't make sense to me, and then it's I
but you have
don't
the right to
agree with
question.
to hmm
You have the right to question. You're in a relationship.
right.
You're in a relationship. You're in a relationship. Now on the flip side of that, if you say, hey, babe, look, I ain't trusting this, I ain't with it, you're gonna have to do this on your own. And he just happened to flip the script, go to the bank, get a good loan, and he starts working that thing, and that thing start making money. And then he gonna look at you and say, what? When he
That's a
when he arrived at the destination that he told you.
so
But nowadays a very strong possibility.
that is a possibility. So one of the things we talked to, you mentioned conversations. So what do you have
Mhm.
quote unquote a blueprint on what conversations should be taking place at specific um times or in the relationship and the dating process? So like, okay, we've been dating 30 days. This is the conversation that we should be having. Or we've been dating 3 months. So this is a conversation that we should be having.
We've been dating 30 days. My question to you, where do you see it 6 months from now? A woman has the right to
Hmm.
ask that question. He has to ask that question because you don't want to be wasting other time. You have that right. Where do you see yourself? Where do you see me in your life? Do you see me past 6 months being in
Hmm.
your life? You have the right to ask that question because he should have a plan. Come together, he should have a plan. He should say, hey, because it don't take a man that long. A man should know within 90 days, no later than 6 months, if he wants to spend the rest of his life with you. And then when it comes down to the finances or his professional life, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Now hold on. You said in 6 months a man should know whether he wants to spend the rest of life with you. But you
Mhm.
also say you want to go slow and steady, like this is not a rush thing. So
Six
I
months is
know
not 6 months ain't quick.
to some people it may be.
If 6 months ain't quick, unless you ain't if you ain't having conversations, if you just going out to dinners and y'all just hanging out and whatnot, 6 months goes by pretty fast. But if you are actually intentionally dating somebody, 6 months is a lot of investment time. People have money and made money more in less time than that, but they took time to do the homework and invest it. It's called an investment. So if I'm investing time, not just buying time, there's a difference between buying time and investing time. If I'm buying time, funny how time flies when you're having fun. But when you
Right.
invest in time, you're building. And nothing builds overnight. Rome was not built in a day, neither was Egypt. So you have to take your time in this process of building because not only are you building, you're tearing down certain barriers and rebuilding. So even though you're tearing down and rebuild, you're building barriers that are working for you if you guys are intentionally moving somewhere, going towards something. So in
Right.
the first 30 days, you have the right to ask questions. And so it's 6 months it can be quick or it can be an understanding where we're intentionally moving towards something that means something of substance. going up
Yeah.
into something further.
So be upfront day one and state your purpose of dating. If your dating goals align, then end it. If they don't align, then end it immediately.
End
You
it
know. So
immediately. I mean, yeah, you have that right. You have that right. You do, as you should. I mean, if it's not aligned with where you're going, you're right. You should.
right. So a lot of us, a lot of people think that, hey, if you and I start dating, I'm telling you, hey, I'm not wanting anything serious right now. I just want, to kind of have some fun, date, enjoy myself. But
Hmm.
your goal is to, I'm gonna marry this woman, and a lot of times we get into and I usually would say women think that we can change a man, but sometimes people think that I'm gonna change your point of view because you ain't never met no man like me, or you haven't been with no woman like me. You think you don't want this, but I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna show you that this is what you want. Have you had that situation before? Has
First,
anybody had that situation before, thinking that we are going to change a person's mind of what they said they wanted?
I come I come across a lot of women who think they're going to change my mind on a lot of stuff, and I'm like, no, it doesn't work like that because I'm comfortable in my individuality. And individuality, we mold each other into a couple. It's not something that we throw together. It's not something we throw each other at. It's something that we mold and build together. So when you have somebody who has their thought process of what they want to do versus, really, and not saying anything, they just feel like I can change him or I can change her. That's a controlling. You don't want somebody that's going to control. You don't want nobody that's control. So yeah.
But,
Am I
but
married? No, I am divorced. I got divorced in 2011.
wow, that's been like 13, 12, 13 years that you've been
Hmm.
divorced. That's a good thing.
Yeah, and guess what? I've been working on me for a very long time. Yeah,
Ain't
I've been
nothing wrong
working
with that.
on
It's
me.
a process. You
Hmm.
constantly work. And then you stop working on yourself, then that's the problem.
Yeah, and I mean, and a lot of women say, well, I don't want nobody that's been divorced. I want look. Let me tell you something. You want somebody who's made some mistakes. I hear a lot of people saying, I don't want someone who has been married, or I don't want someone who is, gonna tell me what to do. Ain't nobody trying to tell nobody what to do. But if you want to lead, you want a man that's going to lead, he should have some wisdom. And if he ain't got no
Right.
wisdom, that's cool. If you don't understand his rhyme or reason, you have the right to ask. And controlling issues, we used to talk about a person trying to control. Controlling is when he's trying to make you do something that you know is against your faith, your friends, your family, your finances. That's
Hmm.
control all the way. But a man that wants to be with you, he ain't trying to control. He's trying to get with you to be a couple. And he has no problem coming together and conversing about things and topics. And he hears your thought process. He understands your mind. He understands your heart, and he wants to work with your heart. That's when you got somebody. But a man that wants to control, he ain't trying to hear nothing you trying to say, and vice versa. A
No.
woman that trying to control, they ain't trying to hear nothing that you trying to say.
Right. So what if you invest into someone and help them build them up, and they call it off? That happens a lot. I
It,
mean,
it now you know what it does on both sides, and I get it. It does on both sides. This is where now at this point I'm going to tell you, learn your mate, and it's not the grandiose things. It's the little things that you need to look at. You need to look at his drive, and you look at their drive and ambition or what they're trying to accomplish. And you just ask yourself, are you that partner? Are you that problem? Are you that patient? Are you that individual that is really pushing? Are you really pushing them to where they want to go? You need to ask yourself that. Because a partner, he gonna check in with you. You gonna check in with him. You guys gonna really gonna be sitting down having some plans. You're gonna be sitting down, talking, conversing about some stuff. But someone who is looking to call it off, they ain't trying to tell you nothing. They're trying to keep you in the dark about everything for the next move. So you will know
I
when he
think
get ready to cut it off. If you really learn your bait, you should know.
I think we are,
I'm listening.
as people, just non-trusting, at all. So you were saying invest in this business, so it puts your trust in people. Change people, they switch up on you and stuff like that. So if you helping them like in this situation, and you get them to where they want to be, and then they let you go. How would you know 3 or 4 months ago or years ago, however long, that this person is using you to get to that point? So anything can happen at any point and any time.
I will say this: women fail in relationships with that because they don't pay attention to the reality. They fall in love with the dream. If you
Okay, I
fall in
would
love
agree.
with if you fall in love with the dream, you're going to miss so many cues, so many signs. It's not even funny. But if you fall in love with the reality of who this person is and learn the reality of who this person is, it ain't going to be easy to pull the wool over your eyes. It's not. It's not.
So
And
in
and
that
and and I
situation,
can take.
right.
Go
So in
ahead.
that situation, what signs could she have possibly seen? I know hindsight is 2020, but
Whew.
what could she have seen that could be a red flag that this person would do something like that?
His direction. His direction.
Mm-hmm.
How he's moving. His words. How he's investing time. If his time switches up. I mean, there's certain things. I mean, it's so many different little things that women don't pay attention to. I mean, the conversations in itself, at one point he was loving and kind, he gets cold ice. But you think it's work, or you think he's, oh, no, you need to watch that. And sit down and talk to him. Hey, babe, what's going on with you? You need to have them weekly meetings. You need to sit down and just, hey, cook him breakfast one night and one morning and just sit in bed and talk to him. And while he eating, men can eat, they talk when they getting fed, definitely. You know, listen to what he's saying. Don't listen at him. Listen to him. You
Oh
listen
my!
at the words he's saying and they sound good.
I think you're in the minority on this thing. I don't know if because we black women, we like, we not putting all our money into it. Nope, we got our separate
Y'all keep
accounts.
looking. I'm not even looking at the money. I'm not even looking at the money. Here's the
Mm-hmm,
thing. If we're talking money and investments, then
mm-hmm.
you need to have a dream of your own. Because if you got a dream of your own, you ain't got time to invest in his stuff.
That's true.
So let's not look at this whole thing as money, because the relationship overall is what we're talking about. If you
Mm-hmm.
have money of your own, you should be investing it. If you are an independent woman, independent black woman, and you feel like you moving and grooving like you're doing, you should have some investment somewhere. And it shouldn't be in Louis Vuitton and all that. It should be in something that is bringing a return in your investment every quarter, every year. You should be building a business if it's something that you have a passion for. So if you're doing that, guess what? He can't ask you for no money. And if he does, hey, I'm investing it. What are you doing with your money? You have the right to ask that. He shouldn't be coming to you for no extra money. If you're working or and you got a job,
Yeah,
have
but I
individual
get that.
goals. And yes, see, I like that.
Individual goals,
That's good.
couples
Have
goals.
individual goals
Absolutely.
and couple goals. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you got
And
to. If you don't have individual goals, you will fall prey to someone else's.
so a lot of successful, and I'm gonna just say black women because those are the ones that I know, making good money in a good place in a good position, they feel like they have a hard time finding a guy. Why so? From a black man, why do you feel like a lot of us black women successful doing our own thing are the last ones in relationships and marriages?
Masculine energy. You got to become what you want. So if you want a good relationship with somebody, you got to remember that a black man is looking for femininity. A mature man, masculine man, ain't gonna deal with masculine energy. We just not. You meet us with masculine energy, we're gonna look at you sideways.
So the
You might
flip
get
side, a mature man will understand a woman's masculine energy. So you can look at it the other way too.
no, we don't. No. You know why? Because you don't want us coming to you feminine. You don't want us coming to your side. You don't want if you want a masculine man that's about his business, no, come on, for real. You don't want to hear what happened in his past that caused him to be what he is. You want a man that matured, that went through matured through life and came out the way he was supposed to and knows how to treat a woman, respect a woman, live and cohabitate with a woman, build with a woman. So you don't want to hear about the sorrows. You might want to hear about how he overcame those, but you don't want to hear those as excuses. So when we hear women say,
Mhm.
"But you know, we masculine women, we got to be this way." No, you choose to be that way because when you with somebody that you respect and love, the femininity should just flow.
Okay, so for the people in the back, explain to us your definition of masculine energy.
Masculine is when you challenging your man for no reason. You talking smart to him, you talking hard to him, you talking to him like he a dude. Like you really trying to come at him sideways on a lot of stuff. If he's trying, because I okay, you know what? Let me do an example. So I remember dating somebody, and in the process of dating her, this particular individual, I was trying to have a shared experience with her because I knew she liked going to
Hmm.
church. Me, 50-50. It makes no difference to me. I go to church, I can be at home. It makes no difference to me. But I know she liked going to church, so it's a shared experience. But she had somebody that she used to date at the church. So
Hmm.
when I asked to go to church, she didn't want to take me. And it got to the point where, I would ask, like, hey, you know, this Sunday, we'll go. But then it changed and got to the point where she became masculine with it. I told you, I'll let you know when I'm ready. And
She
it
said,
wasn't the,
yes.
yeah, she did. But here's the thing. You're not doing anything but showing me that you're protecting something, one, that means more to you. But you're doing it in a way that's masculine to the point where it's turning me off. Because now it's like I'm trying to have a shared experience with you. I could
Hmm.
care less about the dude you used to date at church. So what you did,
Oh, so when she
all I
didn't tell you it was somebody at church she used to date and she didn't want to take you there. Okay, so
and at that point I was like, it wasn't that big of a deal to me after the fact. After she got you know jiggy with it, so to speak, and you puffing out your chest and you loud talking,
so
you
let
got
me ask
that.
you this.
Mhm.
Why did you equate independent strong woman with a woman with masculine energy? Because the independent strong woman can be submissive to her man, but you made him one.
Because you said because y'all independent women, not all of them can do that, and it's not a lot of them that can differentiate between the two. It's not a lot of them that can.
I don't know. I don't know if that's true. I mean, I'm an independent woman, but I don't have the masculine energy. You mean
You
like
have
the woman kind of
how long
thing?
you been married? How long you been
I'm
married?
married. I'd be 8 years in April.
8 years, and you've learned your man. Your man has earned your respect, and you have no reason to exude any masculine energy because you know that you have that landing place where when you have a hard day, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
man, you can lay in that man, you can lay in that man's care, that man's arms and whatnot. A lot of women don't have that. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
women don't have someone that they can rely on. So when a woman doesn't have somebody to rely on and she works around a lot of men and she has to become like the jungle and it's a dog eat world, she's got
Mm-hmm.
to have that energy. And sometimes she doesn't know how to let that go when she's been single for so long. Now, in a relationship, she has a man that she can call on sometimes. If that man is a masculine man that really understands who he's with,
So
because
the
he
si-
can tell.
so the single strong women that can kind of take care of themselves and do their own thing, you think have masculine energy where they are
Not
talking
all of them.
talking hard to you. Okay.
Well, I mean, okay, now when you start, it depends on how you respond because you have some women that are single that do, they do act like men. They do. You have some women that chase men. They come at you like they a dude. And you're like, wait, like you kind of aggressive with it, dang, but it's nothing wrong with that. If you got some guys that like that, it's nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody has to understand that each individual is different. It's case
Mm-hmm.
by case studies, and I have no problem with a woman being masculine. My thing is, do you know when to be feminine?
Mm-hmm.
You can be masculine all day long, but when you get to me, do you know how to be feminine? That's the big thing, because we
Mm-hmm.
don't want to battle. We don't want to battle when we come in to me. Like when we don't battle the world, you don't battle the world. Can we be each other's comfort zone? But if you coming in with masculine energy and I'm coming in with masculine energy, guess what? We we ain't helping each other because
So
my masculinity heals your femininity and your femininity heals my masculinity.
what is feminine energy to you?
It ain't waking up and cooking at 5 o'clock in the morning because I told you to. No, feminine energy is a woman who knows herself and knows how to be herself within the love, the honor, and the respect of being a feminine goddess, being a goddess, being that thing of beauty, that thing of passion,
Mhm.
that thing that makes men say, "Oh my God, it's that woman right there." That's a woman with feminine energy because you don't even have to like you can look at your man and because he knows that your feminine power is that strong, he
Mhm.
melts. There's a feminine energy is actually stronger than masculine energy. And a lot of women don't get that. If more women operated in their femininity at certain times, they would move like chess masters and not checker masters.
Okay, you got a couple of dudes on
Just
here
saying.
agreeing with you. You got a couple of dudes on here. He's making a good point and preach, brother. So I hear that. We got a lot of masculine, a lot of women with some strong energy in here too.
Oh, and I know they are, and they
Uh,
can come with it. I
like
have no problem with it. It's okay. Because this one right
I don't think.
here,
Yeah,
I'm loving this one right
she
here.
got she got some energy. Um,
Well, I know she do.
let's
What you
say,
say?
and
I
she
don't
said
think most women.
with women approaching you and asking you for your contact information.
Yeah, because she's a human being. She's not a mannequin. She's not a toy. So I have no problem with her saying, "Hey, I saw you from across the room. I found you attractive, and I would really like to, get to know you a little bit more, if that's possible." But
Mm-hmm.
coming to me and say, "Yo, dude, when you looking at me like that, I'm looking at you kind of sideways. I'm like, what is it you really want? What you really coming for?"
Right. So you like the soft woman. You like a soft woman. That's what I'm
No
kind of
man,
hearing.
there's not a man on this earth that doesn't. You don't want a woman to match your energy. Yeah, you want a smart woman. That's another thing about feminine women. They're smart, they're intelligent, they're articulate, they're go getters. They know how to move in their energy when they with their man.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
it's so there's a difference between the independent feminine and the independent masculine.
Mm-hmm.
Because independent feminine, she's gonna be a go getter. She's gonna do her thing. She's gonna make her money. But when she get home, it ain't about oh well. When she get home, she got to cook and she got some. No, she gonna see about her man. Gonna see about her. It's the energy. But men, we have to understand. We have to earn that femininity too. Because women don't respect no punks,
Okay. So
and they don't respect no weak men.
if I was single and in Nashville and we went out on a first date, what would our first date be? Where you taking me on our
Well,
first date?
McDonald's, of course. No, I'm just
McDonald's.
no, I mean definitely a good 5-star restaurant, something nice, something elegant where we can actually talk. I
Mm-hmm.
don't want something that's going to be. It's not going to be Cheesecake Factory on the first date. I
I
mean, and
see.
it's
No
not going to. And it,
factory.
that's for me. I like Cheesecake Factory because I like cheesecake. But that's my little guilty pleasure every now and then. But I mean, I'm definitely going to take you somewhere nice, and then we might do some putt putt. We might do some bowling. It might be something where we can do a little bit physical, but we can actually sit back and talk. We have to be able to can talk. We can't talk at the movies. We can
Right.
shoot some pool. We can go out on the town. We can sit down and chat. I mean, it's a bunch of things that we can do. So it's not just one thing. I mean, even if the weather's right, we can have a walk in the park after the fact. Or if the timing is right and it's the evening, you can get a picnic in the park.
Okay. So Miss Busy is giving you the business. It's
She
not the
trying.
time spent, it's the location for me. So are we meeting there? You picking me up? Are you a guy that still opens the car doors? You coming walking me to my car and
I'm
open the
old
car
fashioned.
doors? You pulling out the seat for me? Where those men at? Are they still doing that on the dating scene? Are we requiring men to do that?
I mean, I do it, but I do it because I love doing it. A man has to love to serve his woman or serve his love interest. And a woman has to be very accepting of that because some women aren't accepting of that nowadays. So it all depends. I mean, the energy's there. I mean, I'm still that old fashioned guy. I still open up car doors. I still pull out chairs. I mean, for my woman, I have no problem filling up a car on Sunday and washing the car, making sure her car is clean. That's the type of thing that you want to do. You want to make sure that your woman's good. So yeah,
Okay, because there's always somebody that's willing to pump your gas for you and wash your car for you. Yes, she said, yes, ma'am, my dates do not let me touch doors, and I wait. Right. It reminds me of that scene on Think Like a Man, Megan Good's character, and he just pulled up, and she's standing outside the door, she waiting for him to open my car door. So
Hmm.
we have to start requiring that of guys and
Hmm.
how we want
Hmm.
to treat it. Okay. So why do you think you haven't found that one yet?
Um, me,
Mm-hmm.
me. I'm working on me, and as I work on me, I learn more about myself every day. I mean, I don't think people understand that when you really start doing a purging of yourself and you start working on you, you start to see things and find things that you really didn't know about you. And you have some people have a lot of insecurities you got to deal with. You got to get past some of those. So I mean, I'm not gonna say that I ain't found the one. I'm just gonna say at this point, I just haven't said I do because I'm still working on me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, and any man that really wants to be successful in a relationship, he has his energy. He has to understand how to be masculine, but he also has to know how to embrace the feminine for his woman. And when I say embrace the feminine for his woman, like he has to be able to be soft for her to be a landing place.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I love
I
that you
mean, I,
said
I don't mean you love what?
I love that you said that you're working on yourself first, because so many people are. I hate to use the word damage, but just got things that they need to work on, but they steady getting into relationships and constantly hurting other people because they are not where they should be, and they should not be dating. You know how you see this person? This person should not be in a relationship. This person should not be dating anybody until they get themselves together.
True. True that. Very true. Very true. There's a lot of people out there that don't need to be relationships, but what they do is they transfer their energy onto other people because they haven't taken that time to get into themselves.
I'm gonna bring Miss Busy on here. Did you hear? Sounds like an excuse. Oh my, it's been 11 years.
And what do you and I'm 50. So at 50, you think that what I've learned, what I've gone through is just like overnight. It's a process. So no, I mean, I really didn't start working on me until 2011. So
Mm,
you talking about a good almost 30 some years of, things that I went through and experienced. And you have to
hmm
know a person's background and know that you don't want to take a lot of stuff into a marriage. Like I ain't gonna be 100% complete, but I want to make sure that she has the right package because
Absolutely.
everything, I don't want to just put my stuff on her.
hmm I like that. I
So
like
yeah.
that you're working on yourself so that you can be your best self. hmm Yeah, don't come at me with no, issues and stuff, that unresolved traumas and grief and things that you dealt with in your childhood or in other relationships that you kind of coming up with. So,
Hmm.
do you like the multiple dating? Like when you're dating with a destination, do you date multiple people at the same time, or you
One
honing
woman at a
in on
time.
one? Okay,
One woman at a
okay,
time. One woman at a time.
that works for
Yeah,
you.
multiple women is not good. One woman at a time.
And you
Yeah,
get to call
I'll tell
on
me. I would. I would
everybody,
tell any
babe.
man. Mm-mm. No, I'll tell any man if you date multiple women, you ain't doing nothing but breaking yourself over time. That's all you're doing.
That
You breaking
breaking
yourself
yourself.
over time. You breaking yourself over time because you're expending yourself to too many people, and then you're expending your money all over the place, and you can never gather your finances correctly. So one woman at a time, you focus on that woman, and you try to work it out with her, and then you're training yourself to be with one woman, not multiple.
Okay. Yeah, because if it might be hard to let this person go. You date multiple people, you might have the most fun with this person, but this person might be better at other things,
Hmm.
and it's gonna be
And that's
hard
what
to let that go.
that keeps you in the